which was better than living with the high-functioning, violently abusive, schizophrenic mother that I had been living with up until that point in time. And just terrified of everything around me. That summer when I was first in care, I moved 5 times. I lost just about everything I owned in the world. I think at one point I had a school uniform, a t-shirt, a pair of shorts, and some sneakers. And that was it. That was all of my possessions, but I wasn't getting the crap kicked out of me every day, and that was a win. There were a lot of attempts to reunite me with that family, and those were hard because what it means when someone's high functioning is that to the outside world, it doesn't look like all of that abuse is happening. It doesn't look like what I was saying was true. And what I wanted more than anything was just to be normal. Just to be like everyone else, just have a place where I could go, where I could be safe. And one of the things that I've learned between here and there is that that's not within the realm of what's possible for me. But what I've gone through, what I've endured, what every one of you in this room have endured, and whether or not you get it just being here, you should be proud of yourselves. You're survivors. You have things about you, experiences, things that you've gone through that other people haven't. And those things can become absolute superpowers. Those things, when you're able to accept them about yourself, when you're able to authentically live who you are, and let those things make you more powerful, really will make you more powerful. 14-year-old me was always terrified of being a statistic. You know, I know what I should be. If you look at it statistically, I shouldn't have a bachelor's degree, let alone a master's degree. I shouldn't have graduated close to the top of my class. I should probably have some high school at best. I should be underemployed. I shouldn't have been in management positions at huge companies. I shouldn't be running my own very successful company that I launched 4 years ago. And for the record, that company is called Outlier. Now, Outlier is a point that doesn't fit on statistical distribution. If every other data point is clustered here, so this is what everybody else is doing, an outlier is over here. I'm going to come back to that later because I think that's very important for everybody here. And I shouldn't have the people in my life that I have. How I ended up being here today was that last February I was at Disney World. And I was there with my partners in life and in business. I had never been to Disney as a kid. That wasn't something I had the opportunity to go. So at 38, I said, I've never been to Disney. Let's go and do that. So we went for a day. It was beautiful. We were sitting on the terrace watching fireworks at the end of the day. And I just started bawling. And I realized that everybody around me was not only really cool with me crying, they were wonderfully supportive. They had no idea why I was crying, and I was I'm so happy. And it made me cry more because I realized that I was safe to cry around these people. I had people in my life that I could be just totally relaxed and vulnerable around and cry for the sheer joy of a moment. 14-year-old me cried a lot, pretty much every day, but always alone, never in front of anyone else. That wasn't a thing that I could share. And getting to that sincere point where I had people in my life that I was that safe around, that was a big deal. And I think it brought me to a point where I started thinking about, what do I want to say to 14-year-old me? If I could go back in time, what would I tell that kid who was full of pain, who didn't know that it was going to be okay someday? And I started thinking about how to do that. Part of the way that I got through university is with a Clark bursary from Ron and Nancy Clark. So I had reached out to OACAS to say, here's where I am in my life now. I really want to thank these folks. I know they're very private folks. Please pass along my thanks. But also, if there's ever anything that you guys need, let me know. And they said, will you speak? And my gut response was, oh, heck no. No, I don't want to do this. I'm terrified at this very moment, but I think that it's an important thing to do. Because in a way, being here is like having the chance to go back and tell 14-year-old me where I'm at today. To talk about the fact that with enough hard work, and it is hard work, there are absolutely challenges, there always will be, but stuff gets a lot better. I didn't always feel that way. But some of the pain that led to superpowers is kind of surprising. When I was about 14 or 15, I had this vice principal, we're going to call him Ray, because that's his name. Ray called me into his office and sat me down. He was all serious, and I actually hadn't done anything at that point in time, so I was immediately defensive. And he said, you know, Aaron, we're looking at your transcripts, we're looking at your record, and you might be a better fit for another high school, you know. We could arrange for a transfer for you to this other school. Definitely a better fit for you because they have the highest dropout rate. And I cannot tell you the fiery pit of FU that bubbled up in my belly. Yep. So let's fast forward a couple of years. I'm in grade 12 now, and I don't know if they still do because they had standardized comments on our report cards at the time. So every comment on my report card at the end of first term was highest mark in the class, congratulations. So I got that damn piece of paper, I sauntered into the office, and I said, I'd like to meet with Ray, whenever he has time. And I carried that thing around with me on my person for 2 weeks until he deigned to meet with me. And when we finally met, I just gingerly set it down on his desk and I sat down. And I watched his face, and I wanted to see this remorse, and he just seemed genuinely bemused. Congratulations, kiddo. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do other than say congratulations. And I said, do you remember telling me to transfer out? No. Did I say that? Yeah. You told me I should go to the school with the highest dropout rate. And he laughed. A genuine camaraderie belly laugh. He put his hand on my shoulder and he said, I screwed up then, didn't I? What should I have done? And we had a really cool talk. He didn't know that when he said that, I just entered the foster care system. He didn't know about anything that was happening in my life. He just saw a kid that was acting out and being disruptive in class. So we had this really cool talk about empathy, about youth in care, about how to handle situations like that better. And I got to see the other side of the coin a little bit, because in my mind, I always thought that authority figures had like some telegraph network where they would just know all of this stuff that was happening in my life because they were always coming down on me. So I figured they just all knew what was happening. And for the rest of the time that I was in high school, when he had tough cases, he used to call me in to consult with him, to ask what he should do, to ask if, when a kid was acting out, they should maybe be pulled from a sports team, and talk about how that might be problematic if the sports team was the only part of their life that was stable. We got to have these really cool conversations. And I didn't know it then, but those things helped me so much throughout my life. Because I've always understood that it's okay to be wrong. I've understood the power of being able to say to somebody, hey, I screwed up. How can I do better? And what that can mean to someone in pain. And how important and how helpful it can be to get opinions that are super different from mine. It also helped me start to communicate with authority figures because I stopped assuming that every cop that I encountered, every teacher, every principal, understood what was happening in my life. I tried to make their lives easier, but I tried to let them know what they could do to make my life easier too. And that translated into some really cool stuff. When I was an undergrad, I had this wonderful professor that I loved who ended up becoming my academic advisor. I annoyed the heck out of this guy. I was in his office every day, questions, 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 because he taught really interesting stuff. So at the end of second year, I said, hey, if there's anything I can do karmically to help you, because I know I'm sucking up your time, Can I enter data? Can I do some grunt work? Whatever. I'll happily do that. And he called me, he took my details, called me partway through the summer and said, actually, how do you feel about paid work? And how do you feel about being a teaching assistant? So I became the first undergraduate teaching assistant that the University of Waterloo has ever had. And it was a lot of fun, and I learned tons, but that all comes back to Ray. Ray, being kind of a dick, and ending up being a fabulous guy. Thanks, Ray. The superpowers that come from pain, that come from those places that really hurt us, can be amazing. Because my biological mother was a violent person, because she had unpredictable mood swings, because I never knew when the next punch or knife throw was coming, I learned to be really good at reading people. I was really uncomfortable using this skill a lot of my life, because growing up it was something that I used to protect me and my brothers, and to know when to try to be invisible or lock a door. But growing up, being in the business world, it's come to help me in a lot of really funny ways. We were out at a big event, and there was a lot of different groups of people. My husband was there with me, and we worked in the same industry. And there was a point afterwards where he had said something, and we were just sitting at home on our patio, and I said, oh no, here's how these two groups of people relate to each other, and here's sort of what's happening in terms of dynamics. And he was like, why do you know that from 5 minutes? You spent as little time with these people as I did. How did you pick up that much stuff in terms of what was going on in these groups? Why can't I do that? Teach me how to do that. And I had to stop and think about it for a minute. Why can't I do that? And I had to stop and think about how much more I wanted to tell him once I knew the answer, because that was a hard-won skill. That's a skill that I have because I didn't know where violent abuse was coming from. I can look at situations, I can look at people, and I see things that are obvious to me that aren't obvious to other people. And that's a superpower. In life, in business, if you have that, it will serve you so well. And it's absolutely okay if, like me, you're never entirely comfortable with it. The people that I have the best time with, they're people that I don't worry about having to read so much. They just say what they mean and mean what they say. That's still the area where I'm most comfortable, but I'm also comfortable knowing that I can understand group dynamics. One of the things that I consider a funny superpower is that I can experience ridiculous glee and laugh out loud. I didn't ever get to be a kid when I was a kid. And so now as an adult, I'm going to say that I have not a sarcastic bone in my body most of the time, because I'm so interested in just experiencing life that's around me. And sometimes it's really dorky. Sometimes I'm so dorky I laugh at myself. But the people that that's brought into my life, my friends joke that I'm a collector of humans, but I think that's contagious. People want to be able to laugh. People want to be able to experience that. I'm also really good at problem solving and thinking outside the box, because I didn't ever have the luxury of trusting the status quo. Nothing that ever happened in my life was the way it was supposed to be. It wasn't the way it happened in books or in movies. And I imagine that a lot of people in this room have had the experience of dealing with word problems in school, where it's presented to you, and it seems like everybody else knows the answer, they know how it's supposed to be, and you have no idea, but you can get to a totally different creative answer. Hang on to that. It's not something that they're going to encourage in schools all the time. I'm really sorry about that. But it's going to serve you super well in business, and it will serve you super well the rest of your lives. Because you're going to be able to see solutions to things that other people won't. You're going to be able to define the problem set in a way that other people won't. And that's a superpower. I'm also really good at being alone, because I spent so much time just wanting to be invisible, wanting to be normal, that it doesn't bother me to not be seen. It doesn't bother me to be able to spend time quietly. And that's a silly thing to see as a superpower, but a lot of the work that you have to do in the work world, there's great collaborative stuff, and there's a lot of grind. Getting here, getting from that scared 14-year-old kid to me, it was a lot of hard work. I think it's hard to learn to be authentic. Even now, I always consider it to be a work in progress. But most days, when I look in the mirror, I like the person who's looking back at me. Like, genuinely like. I'm a person that I would actually want to be friends with. And 14-year-old me hated the person that I was. And I wish that I could tell her that someday she could get there. In his book, David and Goliath, Malcolm Gladwell talks about people that are extremely successful, people that are outliers, people that don't fit in that statistical distribution. And if you're a reader, read that book. It's excellent. It's going to be a hard read for everybody in here. I cried my eyes out a lot, even though it's an academic type of book. It talks about how a lot of very successful people have lost a parent at a young age, have been in the system at some point or another, are dyslexic, have experienced, for lack of a better word, some real shit in their lives. And those are some of the things that drive them to be successful. I started off by talking about how I'm different from the statistics, how I'm an outlier. But I can't express enough how much I still don't want to be. I want to move the distribution. I want everyone in this room to get the things they want in life. I want everybody here to look in the mirror and see a person that you would be friends with, that you would want to hang out with. So I say, forget the stats. Forget what everybody tells you. Let's all be outliers. Thank you.
Questions?